Okay, so I'm going to show you my possibly second favorite bomb site in all of Siege, and that is the Reading Defense for Kafe. I don't know why people in rank don't play this bomb site. I happen to think it's the best bomb site on Kafe by a stretch. I think it's easily the best bomb site. You do not need a 5-stack to hold it. You need a 4-stack, at least a 4-stack. But you do not need a 5-stack. And just to prove it, this Malusi is not with us. That's a random. We still managed to make it work in a ranked game. I'm just going to show you the setup, how it works, and I'm going to show you that if you do the setup correctly and coordinate properly, you can turn away, or you can switch your brain off to a lot of areas in the map until further notice. So Castle plays a massive part in this. So he goes and puts his beeper on the double door of trains to mining, and later on in the game I end up going up and getting the hatch as smoke. Now what this means is that you know that this area of mining doesn't matter. This is an area later on in the game that you can force your plant through here. So having information such as people just crouch walking through the double door and audio information on the hatch means you can basically turn your mind off to this whole part of the map. You do not need to worry about this. And there will be barbed wire at this 90 angle of what we call long and short. So realistically, where I play is smoke, and the only reason I'm smoke is because I need to bring a shield for the top floor players. This allows me to turn my mind off to a lot of the map, and I get to sit on white stairs, which is my only job really, is to sit bottom white stairs, rotate up white, and help Castle, who plays pallets and tarps. So this is my shield. That's really it. That's all smoke is for. His gadget is a bonus, his shotgun is a bonus, but really he's bringing a shield character and he's the best of the shield ops, and he happens to fit this bomb site in that way. As you can see, everybody else is doing big setups. Castle's not finished yet, Mute's not finished yet, Jaeger's not finished yet. Nobody is finished early, but it doesn't matter on this bomb site because it's Kafe. All the attackers are still, they're worried about all the spawn peaks. They're worried about all these windows. They're worried about all this stuff. So they take their time getting to the building, and it allows the defenders to sort of have, a lot more time to set up. So you don't need to worry about going over time on your setup at all. It's not a problem. You can finish up bits of the bomb site, and you don't need to worry. The only person who does is smoke. Fairly early in the round, you need to have your smoke player playing bottom white, because if teams decide to do a rush, this is where it's going to come from. It's not going to come heaven, it's not going to come brown stairs, it's going to come bottom white stairs. So as smoke, my job is to not be messing around, it's to be here early. To allow everybody else to finish their setups and stop an early push. And like I said earlier, we know there's a beeper on the mining the trains door, and we know there's a hatch reinforced. We're fine. I can switch my brain off, and I can allow my top floor players to basically win the bulk of the round. So even though this isn't a 5-stack, we have Castle playing what's called pallets and tarp. As you can see, he's got an ADS to protect him, he's got a mute jammer on the wall. Top white, there would be a Banshee. Now the reason we have a Banshee is because we need Malusi for a bulletproof camera. We're not bringing her for the gadget, we're bringing her for a bulletproof camera on this wall. So we might as well bring her over a Rooney, because if you gated top white where this is barricaded, a Sledge or a Zoe can just breach through any of these walls and just cut that off, but they can't cut off a Banshee, which would be roughly against that window. So that's very, very important. And the last two, just because you're here anyway, we put it on the table, and we put it on the library door. You have 3 players upstairs. Castle, you have Jaeger behind the shield, and you would have Malusi hard right over next to the 2 ADSs, and you would have a 3-way crossfire, and in fact a 4-way crossfire with this Mute from underneath. And what Mute can see again is, even though we don't have this wall mute chambered, because you can't, there's no point, you can just shoot this off from Mute underneath. So the whole crux of this round is we just want to make sure that we filter the attackers into this double door to a 4-way crossfire. That's all it is. Fuse ends up getting this castle barricade, fusing through it. I think he gets rid of the shield, even though I think it just might be a glitch in the playback. That shield's gone, and our Jaeger, smart enough, knows that he's going to pull over. Now this castle barricade might seem trivial, but this castle barricade on white allows me later on as smoke that when castle is being pushed on his top white hallway, which you'll see when they set up this crossfire right now, whenever I'm called that there's extra pressure on this, extra pressure, like things are happening, like they didn't make a lot of call-outs there, they were not saying, there was no panic, but now they're saying that there's more pressure amassing, and now I'm able to walk up white as smoke. My only job is white stairs. Early in the game, mid-round in the game, it's white stairs, and I just play here to make sure that nobody walks up white stairs on castle who has his back turned to this crossfire. And then late in the game, we get to use my smokes, and that's when I'm effective. But right now, I'm just playing a team role, an enabling role for these guys, the guys that are really doing all the heavy lifting here. So as you can see, as this is playing out, you know, they're not getting past this at all. They're not getting past this. Castle is across. Jaeger is waiting for him to swing in. Mute can't be underneath. Just FYI at the minute, Mute can't be underneath because this castle barricade just got open. So Mute is smart enough to know to fall back, but it doesn't matter because we still got this sort of... should be a 3-way angle if we have Lucy, but it doesn't really matter. These guys just take care of this guy pushing in through this door anyway. That is the brunt of this defense. That is basically everything to do with this defense. And then because these guys just aren't clearing anything, we just have a random rat, which you're always open to. You're always open to rat plays from this random guy. And then the last guy left is this Persoul, who's Fuse, and he just decides he's had enough, and he's just, yeah, he's out of here for us to win the round. So, I mean, again, the whole defense boils down to your 3 players playing on the top floor. That's all it is, and you just, as Mute and Smoke, you just want to support them. You don't want to be running around looking for frags, you don't want to be going around this west side of the building. There's no need to do that. Also, another reason why this is also a pretty good hold is even if teams do get the hatch, and they start going for the plant through train here, they're really susceptible then to being flanked from their own hatch, so they really want to be careful about what they do. Even if teams decide, do you know what, we're just going to forget about all this, we're not even going to go near all these crossfires, we're just going to open the hatch and we're going to go through trains. That's not a good idea either, because as you can see with Smoke, I can just be easily atop sort of mid-white, looking straight through here. There's a Banshee on that, and there's all these nasty low lines of sight that you can see in front of Mute, and there's a couple of nice one-way angles that see all the way through here, straight through the fireplace. Z's claustrophobic. You cannot just avoid this. You have to go through our top players. There's no way past it. So these guys played it really well. Everybody in the team played it really well. That is basically how a top floor hold works and how a basic default reading defense works. So try it out with your 4 stack, your 5 stack, and have fun.